Welcome back to another episode of Doing Football. Today, week 1 wide receiver rankings. We're going to give you our top 24 for week 1 of the NFL season. It's here. And why have you not entered our week 1 Superflex salary cap game? We've eliminated defense. We've eliminated kicker. I hope you've done that in your redraft leagues. If you haven't, you definitely need to get on the platform. Sign up for OwnersBox and play for free. Use promo code Drew9. We're going to give you a $10 free entry into our 100K week 1 contest. Drew9 for Drew Brees, spokesperson, investor in OwnersBox. Look, come invest in us. Invest in OwnersBox. Download the app. Get on the platform. Start playing fantasy football on OwnersBox for week 1. This is like your DFS platforms that you play, but it's better because there's a super flex spot and there's no kickers and there's no defense.
Yeah. Hey, use these rankings. Find the cheapest guys that we have the highest.
Yes.
Put them in your lineup. That's how you win right there.
We're looking at the rankings that Jared has. Jared will be handling the rankings today. He's doing wide receivers. I handle most of the running backs. We won't get too much into stats and details on these guys. We did that to prepare for these rankings.
Yeah.
We don't want this video to run for 45 minutes.
Just got to trust us.
Trust us.
Trust the
exactly.
process.
Exactly. Okay, let's get into it.
All right. At the top, there is a lot of great matchups for wide receivers, I noticed. But you still got to put Tyreek Hill at number 1, in my opinion. He has the opportunity to just go off any week and against anybody, really. And the Browns, I think it's going to be a high-scoring matchup. I could easily see a big week from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Tyreek Hill. I think that this could be revenge season for the Chiefs. I think they took it easy a lot last season. They were in a lot of tight games. I remember that Raiders game that they lost. The Chargers were even tight games. They did lose in week 17, but even the game they played against them, Justin Herbert's first start, it was tight. I think they're going to be in it, and they'll be in it all season. I think Tyreek Hill has a chance to be the wide receiver 1 overall, which is not a bold take, really.
Yeah. All right, number 2 and 3, I think we're very close for me. It was Devontae Adams at 2, Stephon Diggs at 3. Both not bad matchups. Like, I wouldn't say easy matchups, but both going to have be very involved in the offense. They're both going to have incredibly high reception totals, so I could see some great weeks from them. Both have the wide receiver 1 for the week upside as well.
Yeah, the difference is Marshawn Lattimore. That's all it is.
I mean, Joe Hayden's no pushover either.
Yeah.
So that's why I say like neither have incredible matchups, but you still have to put them. Those are the clear top 3, and they have to be the top 3 just because of how good they are.
Yeah.
Number 4, like your guy. This is your guy. This is Calvin Ridley, and he has a very nice matchup against the Eagles. The Eagles were one of the worst pass defenses last year. Julio Jones gone. He's going to be the focal point of this offense. I wouldn't be surprised if some people put him as number 1 for week 1.
Yeah, Darius Slay, you're not the same guy.
Yeah, he's kind of washed.
So I love Calvin Ridley. The targets are going to be there. Kyle Pitts is going to be involved in the offense, but it might take some time.
Yeah,
so
not right at week 1.
Yeah,
Ridley's the guy. Number 5, I've got DeAndre Hopkins. The Titans, their secondary looks really bad. It's easily the worst part of that defense, and DeAndre Hopkins is the guy in Arizona. So another easy matchup. Like, just throw him in there, number 5.
6, I'm interested in what you have to say about A.J. Brown.
Yeah, A.J. Brown. I mean, it's probably a bit higher than some people have, but like Julio Jones isn't fully healthy yet. So we could easily see A.J. Brown be the number 1 guy there, at least for the first couple weeks. And the Cardinals, they lost Patrick Peterson, right?
Yep. Yeah.
He's gone. So this defense, I don't know. I'm not very confident in it. And this is just going to be such a high-scoring matchup, which is why I have him right after DeAndre Hopkins. And this is going to be back and forth between the two, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like the matchup, like you said. So I'm good with it for sure. But I do think we'll get to Julio Jones later. I'm just surprised. I think you're definitely concerned about how healthy he'll be. Correct?
Yeah, especially to start the season.
Yeah, maybe it's not high snap percentage in week 1.
Yeah. Another very easy matchup is Justin Jefferson at number 7 against the Bengals. Like, the Bengals defense sucks ass.
If this can get, they've got Chidobe Awuzie, and who is tip of my tongue. I can't remember his name right now.
I can't even think of any Bengals defensive players. That's how bad they are.
Anyways, Justin Jefferson, I think it's going to be hard to improve on 1,400 yards, but no Kyle Rudolph's gone, Irv Smith now out for the season. Like, it is going to be Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen this season. And then, of course, Dalvin Cook. But, like, Jefferson can find the end zone more and has some great upside this season. Even where he's, where you drafted him, week in and week out, his volume plus some positive regression to touchdowns from last year could be top 5 each and every week.
Yeah,
have a
for
chance
sure.
to be.
Now, these next two guys are guys on my season-long rankings I have quite a bit higher, Keenan Allen and Terry McLaurin, but I don't like their matchups nearly as much as some of the guys I put ahead. That's the only reason I move them down so far, is because they don't have the cake matchups that those guys ahead of them have. And like football team, great defense, not as good of a secondary, but still a very strong defense. And then the Chargers, like their defense has been injured every year. And now that they're back to healthy, I could see a pretty solid defense from them, at least above average.
Yeah, they're finally fully healthy. There's no injuries in the defense to report from. And then Brandon Staley coming in, what he did in LA. In that secondary, even with some of the talent they had, he got some guys paid in that secondary this season. I'm forgetting who it was, but some of those guys got some pretty penny because of how they played in his secondary. So Brandon Staley can do it with a large group of players. So you give him some of these lower tier defenses, and he can have the middle of the pack no problem. So the Chargers will be good this year defensively, I think.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's like insanely difficult matchups, but it's not cake matchups like these other guys.
Yeah, that's why they're still top 10. We still think that they're not that bad for them.
Now at 10, I have your biggest fade of DK Metcalf going up against the Colts. Now the Colts, they do have a pretty shitty pass defense, but I don't know. I'm kind of with you on DK Metcalf not being as solid on him week to week.
Yeah.
He could easily have one of those dud weeks if Russ isn't cooking and they're just running the ball.
Yeah. Again, I'm not saying DK Mac. I think this is a good spot for DK.
Yeah, right around here. I think right with Terry McLaurin, Keenan Allen, they're in that same tier.
Yeah.
Now at 11, I have Mike Evans. This is going to be a very high scoring game, in my opinion, like two high powered offenses. And Mike Evans is going to be the biggest beneficiary. We could easily see one of those boom weeks for Mike Evans.
Yeah, you talk about these guys. They got Micah Parsons up front. I do think that they're decent up front and might be okay stopping the run.
Just the corners though.
Yeah, when the Bucks get into the red zone and they're 5-10 yards out and they're goal to go, look for some fade routes to Mike Evans with this trash secondary, and he could be in the end zone a few times in this game. I like where he is at 11, but there is a chance with this matchup
it's even higher.
Goes away and finishes as the top wide receiver.
Yeah, like I wouldn't necessarily start him over DK Metcalf if that was somehow a start-sit decision.
Yeah.
But like, just it's such an easy matchup, you have to start him, obviously. CeeDee Lamb, one spot later. Now, he's got a bit tougher of a matchup, but just because I really think this is going to be so high scoring, he's going to have to get involved and just have a great week.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. And yeah, I think appropriate spot for CeeDee Lamb. Yeah. He's going to be the top option, and this is still a good Cowboys offense, even if it's a tough matchup.
Yeah.
Before we get to 13, have to talk about our partners over at Manscaped. You're seeing them here. You need to go check out the Lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped. Use promo code BOX. You're going to get 20% off, free worldwide shipping. I've said it on the last show, but it might be the weekend for you. You might be back at college if you're a student. Take care of business. The Lawnmower 4.0. Go check out manscaped.com.
Yeah, for sure. Number 13, I have Brandon Ayuk. Might be a little bit high for most people, especially because of that slight hamstring tear, but just such a good matchup. As long as we see this week that he's practicing, this is where I have him. So this is assuming he's going to be practicing this week because we're recording this a little bit in advance, and I don't think it's going to be an injury that lingers. So as long as it's not lingering, he's all the way up there at 13 for me. I absolutely love him this week.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. It's a good matchup. It'll be interesting in the way that the 49ers attack this game. Do they just want to run the ball through the Lions, or is it Jimmy Garoppolo when he was playing with Brandon Ayuk last season? They were a great duo. They performed. Yeah. Ayuk was great, so he could do it.
At 14, Amari Cooper, kind of the same thing as CeeDee Lamb. Now he was dealing with an injury, but I think he's going to be fine and he'll be ready for week 1 100%. So he's pretty much in the same spot as CeeDee Lamb for me. At number 15, Julio Jones. Now, he is dealing with an injury, but he's going to play, and it's a great matchup. So that's why I still have him in the top 15, but a little bit lower than I would have him if he was fully healthy for sure.
Yeah, Vrabel has taken it really easy with Julio Jones this preseason. Julio hasn't done much of anything. So does this impact his rapport and his readiness to play with this new offense in week 1? I think there's a chance it does, even though it is a good matchup for them.
Yeah. At 16, DJ Moore. Now, I'm not a very big DJ Moore fan, but it's a great matchup against the Jets. Jets defense sucks.
Secondary is not good.
Yeah, so DJ Moore is the number one guy in this offense, and I could see him catching quite a few balls week one.
Yeah, this to me, DJ Moore would be a player I'd probably have a little bit higher up. Because of Ayuk and Cooper, their readiness, and DJ Moore's got a great matchup. So yeah, no problem with DJ Moore. If he's, for some reason, you went running back heavy early and maybe you have that one of these top tier tight ends, if DJ Moore is your wide receiver 1 this week, you'll be completely fine.
Definitely. At 17, Chris Godwin. Now, the only reason I have him a bit lower than Mike Evans is because I don't think he has the same upside, but he's still going to have probably a really good week, and I would definitely start him this week.
Yep. Excited for Thursday, baby. This will be a great game.
Great game. So excited for that. T. Higgins at 18. I love T. Higgins, and the Vikings, pretty easy matchup. Jamar Chase hasn't looked good. T. Higgins will be the one in this offense, so I could see a big week from T. Higgins there.
Yeah, T. Higgins shares, if you have them, let's monitor them early for the next 5-6 weeks. We'll see how Jamar Chase does, but he could be someone that you're going to get great value on.
Definitely.
And maybe he's someone you look to trade for one of these top guys if he's playing that well to start the season.
Yeah. And then at 19, I have your guy, Tyler Lockett. Now, maybe I shouldn't be as low on both DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett in week 1 because the Colts are a pretty good matchup.
I think you're okay because you have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin similarly spread out that you do DK and Lockett, and you still have wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 on the week, so I think you're good.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for reassuring me there on those picks.
Well, I don't want you to start out by doubting yourself when you bring them up.
Yeah, and I think they're going to run the ball quite a bit too, just as the team always says.
Yeah, but again, these guys will get theirs. Metcalf's going to get those high quality deep ball targets, the chance to have a big play, and one big play can change his week. Lockett is a guy that he was inconsistent with his performances last year, but he gets a heavy amount of targets, so he can easily just give you 80, 90 yards. Maybe he gets into the end zone, and then here we are, wide receiver 2.
20, I have a guy who I told you not to draft last week. It's Adam Thielen. Usually I probably wouldn't have him in my top 24, honestly, but just because it's such a good matchup, and there really is only 3 options in this offense.
Yeah.
You kind of have to put him in the top 24, but I'm worried about Adam Thielen's consistency week to week.
Yeah. I think it's completely fair that where you have him. I like where you have him. I think he can still. We saw him get in the end zone so much last year, which I think is going to regress. But at the same time, they're losing that option at tight end now. I don't think Ty Conklin's going to see a lot of targets. That's for sure. So there is the opportunity for a little more volume for him, but I think, of course, less touchdowns.
Yeah. Now, my biggest faller on this list compared to season-long ADP is Allen Robinson. He's at 21, and the only reason for that is Jalen Ramsey. He's going to be going up against him all game. You can't expect much from Allen Robinson.
Yeah, and Andy Dalton.
Yeah, that's not good either. If there's any week Allen Robinson's going to completely disappoint, it is this week. So I think you still have to start him, though, just because of where you drafted him. Unless you're somehow incredibly flushed with players, you got to start him.
Unless you want to chase some upside with some guys that we might have missing this list, but we said it last time, but we're making the predictions here on what the most likely outcome is. But there are some upside guys you can chase outside of this that could get in here. So
they're still going to target him. But the question is, how will he do versus the best cornerback in the league?
Yeah, I think volume and targets will still be there, but again, production will be the question mark.
22 and 23, I have both Rams wide receivers in Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. Now, the Bears defense isn't great, but this is also the first game with Matt Stafford, remember. So I'm a little bit hesitant in week 1. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game overall, so I wouldn't be surprised if we just don't see that much upside from either of them. They both get involved, but maybe just a 10 to 12 point week.
Yeah, I think that these guys are going to be consistent producers. I would maybe have I don't mind where you have them at all because they could just eat into each other's
that's
production
the thing as well.
But again, there's a chance that one of these guys plays really well because the Bears defense isn't or Bears passing defense isn't very good.
Yeah. To finish out the list, the first Steelers wide receiver, Chase Claypool, had to sneak one in there.
I think that the duo of Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool will stick around like this 20-something.
They'll be in that range
for the
every
whole year.
And Juju, we both aren't nearly as high on, but Chase Claypool just has more upside compared to Deontay Johnson, which is why I have him ahead. Now, Johnson might get more receptions, but Claypool's going to be more involved in the red zone and get those deep passes. So that's why I have him ahead of Deontay there.
Yeah, maybe we change our tune on this a few weeks into the season between the two of the guys, and maybe we just think Deontay's a more reliable guy who can still get into the end zone, and Claypool's just kind of too unpredictable, and there's a lot of variance in his performance. So, but right now, I like going Claypool in front of him. One person we have off the list that I think we should mention, Odell Beckham Jr. is not here in the top 24. It is a great matchup.
He just missed the list. 25.
Yeah, he's at 25 . Who knows? What are we gonna like?
He's coming off an ACL injury too, so. Could be a little worrisome there.
Yeah, like there's a scenario where I tell you that I'd rather start Jarvis Landry than Odell Beckham Jr. on Sunday. I might be like, you know what? I'm not liking what I'm hearing about Odell Beckham Jr. So there's going to be someone from that offense, but at the same time, there's definitely some upside. But again, it's hard to predict. I think it's tough to predict who gets it done. We still have Kareem Hunt here, who's a great pass catcher. That could be an option too. Yeah. So. Anyone else you want to
Kenny Golladay, I have him off the list just because coming off an injury. I don't know if they're going to be too very, very good at all in week 1, so I don't really like him that much. Cortland Sutton, he has a very tough matchup against James Bradbury, so he's somebody who I wouldn't start if you don't need to.
Yep. These are flex. A lot of these guys are probably flex considerations for you guys.
Yeah. Corey Davis, we both love him this year, but he's also got a pretty tough matchup. Who's that? I can't remember who the Carolina's number 1 corner is. Oh, Dante Jackson. He was very good last year, kind of underrated. Brandon Cooks, he has a pretty good matchup against the Jags, but we don't know what's going to happen at the quarterback position, so it's kind of tough to place him.
Tyrod it'll be interesting to see because we only got to see him for one game last year against the Bengals, and it was a horrible game. I think the final score was 19-17. Chargers or no missed field goal from Randy Bullock from like nowhere to lose the game for the Bengals. So maybe he's using the tight end. Maybe Jordan Akins is a guy that you'd have for upside at tight end as opposed to like, is Brandon Cooks going to give you a big play in this game, even though it is a good matchup. So we'll talk more about these types of guys later on this week and start sit, your considerations there. But of course, if you enjoyed the video, please do subscribe to the channel. We would greatly appreciate it. Drop a like on the video as well. Comment down below. Let us know who we're missing, or maybe some guys you'd prefer to have a little higher up, or you think would finish higher up. We're always open to you questioning our work. I'm not saying I'm the greatest fantasy analyst of all time. Jared might say he is, but open to your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you guys. And thank you guys for watching. We will see you tomorrow and the next day and every day after that, and then it'll be Sunday and there'll be football. Well, there'll be football Thursday, but we're just so ready. We're ready for the slate. Let's go.